Hello there. In today's lab, we're going to be doing a small demonstration on OSPF summarization. And if you've been studying OSPF, you know about the link state database and LSAs, which stand for link state advertisements. And it's important to note that LSA type 3 advertisements are for inter-area routers, and LSA type 5 are for external prefixes that are redistributed into OSPF. And also, OSPF can do summarization, but you cannot summarize within a single area by itself. And that's a big difference between EIGRP and RIP, where you're allowed to do that. So what this means is you can only configure summarization on an ABR or an ASBR. And an ABR stands for Area Border Router. So in this example, R1 would classify as being an ABR because it's in between, or it's in two different areas, Area 0 and Area 1. So R2 though would not be an ABR, and so because of that you can't perform summarization on R2. So what we're going to do is we're going to configure all these loopback interfaces and then see how we can summarize all those 172.16 addresses into one summary address to be advertised out to R2. And although it doesn't say it, the green circle represents Area 1. Okay, so we'll configure all the loopbacks. Now we'll configure the physical IP addresses. Let's see if we can ping. Okay. So far so good. So now we're gonna start OSPF. And then we're just gonna advertise the 172.16 networks up to .3. Okay, so now OSPF doesn't converge as fast as EIGRP does, so we have to wait a little bit. So it's in the two-way druther state, but we need it to get to the full state. Do show IP route. See all the connected routes. Okay, so it still hasn't learned any OSPF routes yet. Okay, so now we should be in the full state. see we are learning 4 different OSPF routes. And it's important to note that the IA stands for inter-area routes. So these routes are being transmitted over 2 separate areas. So we can look at the OSPF database. You can see all these summary net link states. Okay, so if we wanted to summarize, we'd have to do it on R1. We have to specify which area we're in. And then we can use the range command and then say we want to match 172.16. 172.16 networks, and then just match on that. Okay. And now it should change something, right? Okay, so now you see we only have one address now because everything's being summarized as a /16, but we still should be able to reach all those routes. So we can reach every single loopback interface on R1. Okay. Another thing we can do is we could redistribute connected subnets from R1 and see what that does. So if we go into router OSPF1, and we'll get rid of that, that network command. And then we'll redistribute connected subnets into OSPF. So then you can see a type 5 link state advertisement. See, so now it says instead of OIA, it's OE2, and those are external routes, and anything that gets redistributed into something else, that's going to be external. Okay, so we could look at the OSPF database, and now you can see that we didn't previously have all those type 5 AS external link states. Now we do. What else can we do? Okay, so if we wanted to summarize type 5 addresses instead of the type 3 that we did with the range command, there you actually have to do it a different way. So you have to go into router OSPF and then use the command summary address and then just specify what you want to summarize. Okay. Give it a second. Okay, so it resynced, and now we summarized all those external loopback interfaces that were redistributed back into OSPF. We still should be able to reach all of them. So we have full reachability, and that's pretty much, this is a very simplistic lab with OSPF summarization, but I know it can be a lot to take in. So this is one of the topics that is somewhat difficult to understand and grasp. So hopefully you got something out of this lesson, and I appreciate you watching the video, and have a nice day.